Welcome. Today we're going to start in the seated pose, making sure that you're comfortable. We're going to have our hands on either thigh, palms faced up. You're going to bring the thumb to the tip of your pointer finger together, extending out the middle ring and pinky finger, coming into Jnana Mudra. Sitting up tall in the spine, shoulders are relaxed away from the ears. Taking a moment to yourself to connect into how you're feeling in this present moment. Notice how the breath is moving through the body. If you notice maybe your breathing is a little bit shallow, I invite you now to slowly transition into a deeper, more mindful breath. Really trying to fill up the lungs with every inhale. The stomach and chest expands, and with every exhale, it all deflates as your navel draws in towards the spine and all the air is released. Once you feel a little more settled into the practice here, into the present moment, I'd like you to slowly introduce our affirmation here, repeating to yourself out loud or in your mind, whatever suits you. Repeating to yourself here, I radically accept myself. I radically accept myself. From here, on your next inhale, you can keep the eyes closed. You'll start to reach both arms over your head. And an exhale, you'll drop your right hand down to the mat as you reach over your head, getting a nice stretch into the left side of your body. Making sure you are still breathing deeply. With your next inhale, we'll come back to center. And exhale, the left hand will now find the mat as your right hand reaches over your head, getting that nice stretch across the right side of the body. Keeping the chest open, proud chest here. With your next inhale, we'll sit up tall again. And exhale, palms together down towards your heart. Together we'll now bring our knees into our chest. Hugging our knees in, we're just going to release the head down into the knees and embracing yourself here. Introducing the next affirmation in our practice here, repeating to yourself, I care about myself and other people. I care about myself and other people. With your next inhale, we'll sit up tall again. From here, you're going to extend the left leg out. Keep the right knee in your chest for now. You're going to take your right foot over to the other side of your thigh. So now you're on the left side of the left thigh. Okay, and now you're going to try and take your right knee and stack it over the left as much as comfortable. So your knees might not come in so close, there might be quite a gap, but that's perfectly normal. Just find what feels good in your body. Maybe you want to sit up on a block and lift the hips a bit, find a little bit more space there for yourself. We can stay here, or you have the option of also bending the left knee. So now your knees are stacked on top of each other, or whatever that looks like for you, or however that feels good for you. And then we're going to start to reach our arms behind us. So the right arm is reaching over your head and the left arm behind your head. And you're going to try and reach for your fingertips. So again, this may look different for everybody. So if you need to grab a strap, feel free to grab a strap or a belt and try to reach for that belt behind you. Or maybe you can take your left hand to that right elbow, getting a nice stretch into your tricep here, but also really working on keeping the heart open, sitting up tall, feeling proud here. As we settle in, we'll introduce our next affirmation. I am good and nobody is perfect. I am good and nobody's perfect. With your exhale, we'll slowly release, letting the arms fall and untangling the legs, bringing both knees back into your chest. Taking it to the other side this time, we're going to extend the right leg out. And we'll start by taking the left foot to the outside of that right thigh. And when we get here, taking that left knee and stacking it over the right as much as that feels comfortable, maybe finding that block again, lifting up, finding room in those hips, adjusting yourself. Remember that this is supposed to feel good in your body, so make sure you're not feeling any pain. And then you might have the option of bending that bottom leg as well. Then we're going to set up those arms. So this time, the left arm is going to go over your head as the right hand reaches behind you, clasping your hands, clasping hold of a strap, a belt, or coming into that tricep stretch by reaching your right hand to that elbow. Getting yourself comfortable here, sitting up tall, letting the breath move through you with ease. You notice that you can't breathe so easily, you're finding a little bit more of a shallow breath, might mean that you've pushed yourself too far and your body's actually not that comfortable. So taking the time to readjust yourself and then coming back in. And then we'll start to introduce that next affirmation. I embrace all my imperfections. Again, I embrace all my imperfections. With your exhale, we'll gently release, letting the arms fall, untangling those legs. And then we're going to transition into our child's pose now. Having your knees as wide as you'd like, your toes together behind you. You're going to drop your chest towards the earth as the arms extend out in front of you. Taking nice deep breaths here. Feeling the earth beneath you as it supports you. And the breath flowing through your body with ease. Saying to yourself here, I embrace both my good and bad qualities. I embrace both my good and bad qualities. Keeping your left hand where it is, you're just going to thread your right arm underneath the left as your gaze goes over to the left. Breathing here as we just gently open up the shoulder here. Repeating to yourself here, I've dealt with problems before and I can deal with this. I've dealt with problems before and I can deal with this. Your next exhale will release that right side, extend the right arm out again. And then we're going to switch over to the opposite side so the left arm is going to thread underneath the right. Gaze follows that left hand, opening up that left shoulder now. Introducing the next affirmation. I won't stress over the things that I cannot change. I won't stress over the things that I cannot change. With your next inhale, you'll untwist yourself and start to lift the chest up. Our next pose is going to be our downward facing dog. So planting your hands into the mat, curling your back toes and start to push your hips up towards the ceiling. As this is more of a slow flow, if your hamstrings are feeling a bit tight or you just want to give yourself that extra bit of love, just bending your knees slightly here, supporting your lower back, giving yourself that little extra space. Breathing deeply, the chest going towards the thighs. Saying to yourself here, I cannot change the situation, but I can control how I respond to it. I cannot change the situation, but I can control how I respond to it. one more time just to be sure. I cannot change the situation, but I can control how I respond to it. Lovely. From here, we're going to move into our pigeon pose on our right leg first. Transitioning how that feels good for you. We're going to bring that right leg out in front of us and drop down towards the earth. Make sure you have length in the spine. And then exhale. Release maybe down to your elbows, maybe onto a block. Maybe you want to extend the arms out entirely, or even find a pillow to hug onto. Settling into your pigeon pose today. Focusing your breath on any parts of the body that feel tense and try to let that go. Getting comfortable here and repeating to yourself, I might have some faults, but I'm still a good person. I might have my faults, but I am still a good person. Staying in our pigeon pose, we're just going to lift the chest up and add a little bit of a quad stretch here by taking our left hand or a strap and wrapping your strap or grabbing hold of that left foot and gently pulling it in towards you. Making sure the chest is open, you got a proud heart here. Shoulders are relaxed. Saying to yourself, I might not like it, but this is what has happened. I might not like it, but this is what has happened. Exhale. We'll release. You'll plant both hands into the mat and we're going to transition to the opposite side. So maybe using your downward facing dog to come into the left side of your pigeon pose. Dropping the left leg out in front of you. Releasing down to the earth, making sure you still have length in the spine. We always want to have that proud chest. And exhale. Start to forward fold. Maybe to your block or to your elbows, or completely down to the earth. Reminding yourself here, I accept myself for how I'm feeling. I accept myself for how I am feeling. With a nice big inhale, you'll start to lift the chest, staying in that pigeon pose. We'll come in for that stretch on the quad by reaching with your hand or with your strap for that right foot and start to pull that leg in as much as is comfortable for you. Saying to yourself here, there's a purpose to my life, even though I might not always see it. Reminding yourself again, there is a purpose to my life, even though I might not always see it. With an exhale, we'll let go. And we're going to make our way onto our backs now. So again, transitioning however that works for you. We're going to lay down onto our backs. Our knees are bent. You're going to bring the soles of the feet together into a reclined butterfly pose by dropping the knees down towards the earth either side of you. You can place your hands wherever you'd like. Maybe your arms are reaching over your head or either side of you. If you want to take a moment to connect deeper to your breath, you can maybe find left hand on your stomach and your right hand on your heart. Making sure that you are completely comfortable here. Make any adjustments necessary. Use any props that feel right for you. If you feel comfortable, maybe you'll even close your eyes. Scan the body for any tension and try to relax and release any stress. Coming into our final affirmation here. Today, I take responsibility for everything I do and say. Today, I take responsibility for everything I do and say. I'm going to leave you here in this reclined butterfly pose. Feel free to stay here for as long as you'd like. Maybe you want to come into a shavasana, extend your legs. Do what feels best for you. I'm so grateful that you joined me here today, and I hope I'll see you again soon. This practice was inspired by my radical acceptance that I'm learning from dialectical behavioral therapy. If you enjoyed this video and you would like to see more, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Comment down below if you'd like to know more a little bit about DBT or anything that you might have learned from DBT. I'd love to know.